I'm Dr. Alexander Paris. I'm a medical doctor and I'm based in Cheshire in the UK, and my clinic is Sonu Medical Aesthetics. Hi, I'm Dr. Alex. I'm an aesthetic doctor. Probably easiest if you just run through what brings you here today.
Right. Well, I have these black eyes, but I have them for always. But the more I grow up, the more I can see them.
So today with Maria, during the consultation, her main concerns that she raised were her tear troughs under her eyes, and then her chin, because she said genetically her whole family has this very weak chin and it's bothered her for a very long time. We had a good discussion today about options treatments for the eyes and the chin, because obviously for the eyes there's a variety of causes of dark circles, so we wanted to make sure it was the right and most appropriate treatment for today.
I don't want to look that different, I just want to feel more, it's not confident, it's just like I'm very aware of it.
One of their biggest concerns is always, will I look normal, will I look natural after this? With me using MaiLi, there's a couple of things that help us to achieve that. One is we can actually use a bit less product than some of the other HA fillers, which means when we explain that to the patient, less is more. They always really like that. Again, it just latches onto that natural results that they're after. When you smile, you want your cheeks to kind of compress down a little bit across there. You want something that will move with your face. So when you smile, you still look like yourself. You still got that nice warmth come out.
Yeah, still having expressions.
Yeah, so because we're keeping things nice and natural, we're not augmenting, we're just kind of beautifying. We're only putting very small amounts of filler in. And again, another advantage of MaiLi is that we've got this oxy-free technology. So the real strengths of the oxy-free technology in the MaiLi fillers is that the reactive oxygen species are removed during the manufacturing process. This basically means that the oxygen species can break down filler. So by removing them from the manufacturing process, the filler can last longer because there's less of these reactive species to start breaking down the product. So that's great for patients because they get longevity results, but it also means for me, we get this springy-like fillers where you get natural results. So it's a really nice balance of projection in some of the thicker fillers like the extreme range, or some of the softer fillers with precise, but still maintaining that subtle softness that the patients love. So although there are lots of different hyaluronic acids available on the market, the ones that I choose to use on my patients from the MaiLi range, that's mainly because of the high quality of the product. So we get these really nice natural results afterwards. Flows out really easily from an injector point of view, and a bit of analgesia in the syringes helps to make patients more comfortable with it. In terms of the actual hyaluronic acid itself, what really appeals to me is the smart spring science, and that basically helps to achieve some decent volumization when needed, but still retain natural kind of spring-like results. It resists a bit of compression, but kind of bounces back to its shape. Basically just means that when patients are moving their face or pulling expressions, the filler kind of moves with them and gives a very natural response. At the beginning of the treatment, I marked out the patient's face. For me, it was kind of a map of what I wanted to do with her face as a whole. So it was just a kind of a guide for me to make sure that the patient gets the best possible result. So we started off in the temples, and I used some MaiLi volume with a needle down to the bone there. While I was injecting, I started tapping the patient as I was injecting her. This is a distraction tactic to make the injections more comfortable for her. Moving down, I did some injections to her lateral cheekbones. Because I was going really deep with these injections and I wanted to get some decent projection, I switched to MaiLi Extreme with these injections. That just offers me the nice balance of getting projection but natural softness in the cheekbones. We then moved on to the under eye region. I did a few lateral points at the lateral orbital rim. These were using a 32 and a 30 gauge needle, and these were injected down to the bone. I only did tiny little aliquots of MaiLi Precise here, 0.05 mils per point, and that was all I needed just to soften the kind of lid-cheek junction there. Moving more medial, I then switched to a 25 gauge cannula and performed a small tear trough treatment on her. In each tear trough I used 0.1 mils of Precise, and these were injected deep just to kind of make sure we get a nice natural result there. I then moved down to her lips, but again I use a needle with the lips and Precise. With the chin I did some deep injections onto the bone, and that was using MaiLi Extreme. So before I started using MaiLi, I did find that with some of the other fillers I was using, patients experienced a little bit of swelling after the procedure. I found that since using MaiLi, in particular MaiLi Precise, the swelling post-procedure has been much reduced compared with what I'd been using previously.
Before the treatment, I felt very conscious about myself, about photos and on video calls. But after, I was very confident on how I looked, which also made me feel more comfortable about myself. One of the things that surprised me the most is that it wasn't painful. Injections didn't hurt, the fillers didn't hurt. I thought it was going to be more uncomfortable, but it wasn't.
So what's really nice about the MaiLi range of fillers is we get the both instant result from the patients. They go home with looking happy, pleased with results. But in the long term, you want to make sure that they actually maintain the results and that they still look natural and normal as time goes by, and that nothing strange or unusual is going to happen with them. So I found my patients were getting excellent longevity, particularly in the lips, where I'm consistently getting over a year worth out of the filler there. And they're getting nice, natural, normal looking results that mould with their face shape so they can express themselves as normal.